Hi guys, welcome to Python Crash Course. And let us have a table of contents. So let us look at introduction to Python programming crash course. This is the overview. Introduction will entail overview of Python, key features and advantages, common use cases such as web development, data science, machine learning, among others. We shall also look at Python history and philosophy. And number one, we start off by looking at variables and data types. And under this, we look at integer, which are whole numbers, float, which are decimal numbers, and string, which are simply text or a sequence of text. Boolean, which entails true or false. List, which are ordered and mutable. Collections. I shall also look at tuple, which are ordered and immutable collections. Dictionary as well, which are key value pairs. And we shall also look at set, which are unordered and contains only unique elements. And section 2, we're going to look at basic operations, and it will entail arithmetic operations such as plus, minus, multiplication, addition, among others, and string operations such as concatenation, methods, among others. List operations as well. Shall look at how to append, how to access elements, among others. And part 3, we're going to look at control flows, and in this case we're going to look at conditional statements, that is if, else, and we're going to look for for loops. For loops simply entail iteration, and while loops, where conditions meant to be repetitive, and least comprehension. And number 4, we will look at lambda functions, which are simply anonymous functions, and we also look at practical examples. And section 5, we're going to look at map, filter, reduce, and remember, map is simply just a function, the same way to filter function and reduce. All those functions we shall look at simpler examples. Number 6, we're going to work with JSON files and how to convert a dictionary to JSON and how to pass a JSON file to a Python object. Number 7, we're going to look at functions such as defining a function, parameters inside a function, and arguments. And we can also look at return values and also default parameters. Section 8, we look at file input and output operations like writing to a file, reading from a file, and also file handling based practices. Number 9, we're going to look at exception handling, and this will look at try, except, blocks, and handling as specific exceptions. And finally, we are close. So on number 10, we look at classes and object-oriented programming. So we look at class definition, we look at attributes and methods, we also look at object instances or object instantiation, we look at inheritance, basics, and number 11, we entail modules, such as how to import modules, how to use standard libraries, modules, and module aliases. Number 12, we're going to work with dates, such as a datetime module, date formatting, and time delta operations. Number 13, we're going to look at list comprehensions. So we're going to look at basic list comprehensions and conditional comprehensions, as well as dictionary comprehensions, and among other stuffs. So this is the summary of the module. This module on Python Crash Course covers fundamentals of Python concepts with examples, comments, and expected outputs. So throughout this module, you will be expected to run the output on your own. So run each section sequentially to learn Python basics. And Python is a high level interpreted programming language known for its simplicity and readability. So, and Python was created by Guido van Rossum in 1991, and Python has become one of the most popular programming languages for web development using Django and Flask frameworks, and data science using libraries like pandas and NumPy, and machine learning as well using frameworks like TensorFlow and PyTorch, and as well as automation and scripting, and as well as scientific computing. And some key features include Python is easy to learn, its syntax, it is cross-platform to any other operating system. It has large standard library. It has strong community support, and it is dynamically typed. To continue, this is just a refresher course, so it's good for those who want to refresh their knowledge about Python. Let us start with variables and data types. So variables and data types follow shortly. So if these variables, remember, are containers for storing data values, and Python has various data types, as we shall see in the following section. We start with integers. An integer is a whole number without a decimal value, such as age is equal to 25, and you can print the age is, we pass on the age and the type of the age. You get the output as age is 25, type class is an int. And float refers to numbers with decimals, and for example price 19.99, and we can print using f string. Price is price as a placeholder, and type you can say colon type, and the person price as placeholder. Output will be price is 99, and type of class will be float. And you can also work with the string. String is just a sequence of characters or text, and for example name is equal to Mary, and you can print the name using f string with some placeholder name, and the type of the name with output will be name will be mapped as Mary, and type will be a string. And you can also look at boolean. Boolean are just logical values, that's true or false in outputs. So it's a student is equal to true. So if we print this student, you get that it is true, and the type of the student is true. So, and the class will be the boolean or the bool. And list is ordered, mutable, collection kind of data type. And for example, lists are created by square bracket. For example, fruits, apple, banana, cherry. And you can print fruit using f string, and pass on the placeholder as fruits, and the type of fruits will be, output will be generated as fruits are mapped to apple, bananas, and cherry, and type will be class list. And tuple, these are ordered and immutable collections, and are created using round brackets. For example, coordinates 10.0, 20.0. If we print the coordinates, and the person coordinates as placeholder, and the type of coordinate, we find that the output to be 10.0, 20.0, and the type will be class tuple. And dictionary, which are just key value pairs. For example, person, names being mapped to Bob, for example, age is 30, and if we print the person and the type of the person object will be, the output will be name is mapped to Bob and age 30, and the type will be class Dick. So set are unordered unique elements, so they store only unique elements. So if it's, for example, unique numbers is equal to a set 1 2 3 2 1. So if you print the unique numbers, you find that anything that's repeated will be eliminated. So the value of 2 and 1 will be eliminated. It will remain with either one value of 2 and one value of 1. So it will be 1 2 and 3, and the type will be of class set. I hope you understand. Remember, set is also created using curly brackets, but it's not a key value pair the same way dictionary is. So let us look at section 2 on dictionary operations. Basic operations, that is working with data. And we can print our stuff like section 2 will be basic operations, and we start with arithmetic operations like A, B will be 10 and 3. That's a simple unpacking. And if we print A plus B, we get the output as 10 plus 3 is equal to 13. And A minus B, the output will be 10 minus 3, which will be 7. And if we print A times B, the output will be 10 times 3, which is 30. You can also print A divided by 3, which will be output as 10 over 3, which is equal to 3.33 dot dot. And you can also print A flow division of B, which will be the output with a whole number. So that's the flow division. And you can also print A percentage B or modulo B, which will be the output as 10 percentage 3, and which will be 1, which means the remainder will be 1 if we divide. And you can print A star star B, and this is the raised power, which means 10 raised power 3 will be 1000, that is exponent. And you can also look at string operation. For example, greeting is equal to hello, and name will be, for example, Grace, and you can print greeting plus name, and the output will be hello Grace. And you can also print using f string greeting dot lower and name dot upper. So the output will be hello Grace. So you are upper, you are making the name to be uppercase. And you can also print the length of greeting, and to length dot greeting, output will be the length of hello will be 5. Now we can also look at list operations. Numbers 1, 2, and 3. Numbers to append, you are appending 4. If we print, if using F strings, the appended list will be numbers. So which means you get 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 4 will be appended at the end. And we also print the second element of the numbers will be subset at 1 position, and the output will be second element as 2. And you can print the last element to be subset of -1, which is last element as 4. And let us move to our third section, and that section will entail control flow, which is simply making decisions. So in life, in everything you do, it revolves around decision making. So this section we're going to look at control flow. And control flow structures determine the order in which code execution occurs. So if a leave else condition execution, that is our first example. So for example, temperature is equal to 22. If we print weather, you can print weather report, and we print if temperature is greater than 30, then print it is hot. and if 20 is a temperature is less than or equal to 20, or less than or greater or equal to 30, we print it is pleasant, and this will be executing actually. Else we need to print it is cold. So the output will be a weather report. It is pleasant. Now let us look at for loop, and this is simply iterating over a sequence. For example, we want to count to number 5. For I in range 1 to 6, let us print the value of I until end. So it simply means that output will be on horizontal and the one up to 5 values. We exempt the last one. So example 2, for I in range 1 to 4, we need to print counting I. So we remember the fourth value will not be printed. We will print 1, 2, and 3. And now we can look at while loop under loops. While loop is simply a repeated execution while a certain condition is true. We can print counting down. So for example, count is equal to 5. While count is greater than 0, of which it will remain to be greater than 0, you can print count and end it. And values will be printed horizontal, which means if you don't use the end statement, the value will be vertical. And you can count is equal to minus is equal to 1, which means we'll be subtracting 1 every count. And example 2, count is equal to 0. While count is less than 2, we can print while loop count, then we count. Simply the value will still be printed vertically, and you can count plus is equal to 1. And while loop count 0, this is the output, and while loop count will be 1. And we can look at list comprehension, which is simply a concise way to operate or to create lists. For example, a list of squares will be x squared for x in range 1 to 6. So which means that each value of 1 through 5 will get squared, and you can print the squares and the person placeholder as squares, and the output will be, the squares will be 1, 4, 9, 16, and 25. So remember, 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16, and 5 squared is 25. So number 4, we are looking at lambda functions. Lambda functions. And you can look at example of double is equal to lambda, and x is such that x is mapped to x squared. If we print double 5, so double 5 will be 5 times 2, which the output will be 10. And moving ahead, we can look at section 5 on map, filter, and reduce functions. And we will start by looking on maps. So example, nums is equal to 1 through 5, and number 8 will start with the map. And double is equal to list. We are mapping lambda x to x. X is mapped to x squared, comma, nums. So if we print, the double value will be 1 squared, 2 squared, 3 squared, 10 squared. So which means, and you can also look at filter operation, even this one, which means we are looking at even values, and we can map x is being mapped to x modulo 2, which is equal to 0, which means when it's divided by 0, then when it's divided by 2, the value there is no remainder. And now you can move to reduce function. So for example, from functions we need to import reduce, and total is equal to reduce lambda x y colon x plus y comma nums. So this, if we print the sum using reduce as total, the output will be sum using reduce is to 15. So please run the codes and confirm from your side. So number 6, we are going to work with JSON files. JSON files, yes, be prepared. So we need to import JSON module And JSON simply also works like dictionaries. For example, name is Harry. Skills, for example, Python programmer, R programmer, as well as SQL. He also knows about SQL querying. And let us convert dictionary to JSON string. So JSON data is equal to JSON.dumps and data. If we print JSON string, we get that JSON. The output will be JSON string will be a name is being mapped to Harry, and skills Python and R with SQL as well. And we can convert back JSON to string back to a dictionary. JSON string back to dictionary. So for example, past is equal to JSON.load loads JSON data. And if we print past JSON will be past skills, the output will be past JSON will be Python, R and SQL. And we can move to functions. So we can print that the next stage is functions. So remember, let us look at basic function operations. For example, we need to define greet function with their name argument. We want to return hello and the name that will be given. For example, if we print greet and the person with the name Harry, the output will be hello Harry. And you can look at a function with default argument. For example, we want to define power, base, and exponent is equal to 2. And this one we want to return the base and star exponent. Exponent is 2, so which means we need to square any value that will be given. So, for example, power of 5, which will be 5 squared, which will be 25. And if it is 2, we can say 2 by 3, the output will be 8. And we can also look at example 2. We let us define base and exponent to be 2 as well. And then we want to return the base star exponent. Now you can print the power, power, 6, so the output will be 36. 6 times 6, 36. And you can print the power with exponent to be the power 6 by 6. So the power with exponent will be 36. So number 8, we are going to look at file input and output. So, and this is file input and output operation. So let us look how to write to a file. So we use context managers with open example.txt. We want to open it in write mode as a file. So file.write, we're writing to that file hello, Python, and going to the next line. This is a test file. So that will be the line that will be written in that file. So let us read now from the file that we created. Now we print file contents with open example.txt, in read mode as files. So for line in file, we need to read all the lines. So we need to print line.strip. So we want to remove all the trailing spaces. File. Now let us look at file content will be hello Python, and this is a test file. And example 2 on file, you can also look at how to write to another file. So for more deeper understanding, with open sample.txt in write mode as file.write hello, this is a test, and move to the next line. So let us now read from the file again. With open sample.txt in read mode as file, the contents will be file.read. So if we print file content, we get, and passing the content as argument, we find the file content will be hello, this is a test. And we can move on to the next section 9 on exception handling. I hope this makes sense, guys, and we can print our section as exception handling. And let us try and run a try and except block. So return result is equal to 10 over 0. So we need to accept 0 division error, and we can print cannot divide by 0. So the output in fact will be cannot divide by 0. Else we say need to print result as result. And finally, we need to print this always execute. So that is the output that will always execute despite the outcome of the execution. And example 2, you can look at try and number or num is equal to int abc, which is invalid with conversion, and except value error as error. And you can print quote and error if you get that error. So an output will be quote and error, invalid literal for int with base 10 abc. And we can move on to section 10, which looks at classes and object-oriented programming. So we can focus on classes and object-oriented programming. So class dog, for example, this will let us define class attributes like species is equal to canis familiaris, and now let us instantiate or initialize our stuff with a method with self, name, and age parameters. So self.name will be name, self.age is going to be age. And now we can again instantiate some methods, define description with some self parameter, and we return self.name is self.age, years old. Now we want to create another instant method. For example, define speak, and will be with self and sound. So our dog can speak and can have some sound. So we can return self.name says sound. So remember, sound is a placeholder. We can now create our object instances. So Buddy is equal to dog. Buddy is 5 years old, and Milo is also a dog, and Milo is 3 years old. So if we print Buddy.description, the output will be Buddy is 5 years old. And if we print Milo.speak, we will say that the output will be Milo says woof. And if we print all dogs are dog.species, and we have to get output as all dogs are canis familiaris. Yes, that's interesting. On section 11, we're going to look at modules. We can print modules as our subsection, and now we start by importing math module. So we import math, and you can print the square root of 16 as math.sqrt 16, and our output will be the square root of 16 will be 4.0. And you can also print pi constant will be math.pi in 2 decimal places dot 2f means 2 decimal places, so 3.14. And you can also import with aliases. For example, import random as rand. So if we print random number to be rnd.randint 1, 100, this one without will be the random number between 1 to 100. And we can again proceed to the next section, which is section 12 on working with dates. And we can print subsection as working with dates. So let us import datetime module. So from datetime we need to import datetime and time delta. So those are inbuilt modules. Now is equal to datetime.now, and if we print the current date, datetime will be now, and the output will be the current datetime, and or will be current datetime. So current datetime from my side is 03 May 2025, and tomorrow is equal to, for example, now plus time delta, the days is equal to 2, so you add 1 day, or day is equal to 1, sorry. And if you print tomorrow, and person tomorrow.date, the output will be tomorrow, current date plus 1. So formatting of date, let us find formatted now dot stuff time will be y minus m modular d percentage h colon percentage m colon percentage s all the way. So this means that we need to print the time in years, month, date, hours, minutes and seconds. And number 13, we're going to look at list comprehensions. List comprehensions. So let us proceed on list comprehensions. So remember, list comprehension is just constant way to work with list, and basic list comprehension follows. For example, numbers is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and the squared value will be n squared for any value in numbers. So the squared values will be 1, 4, 9, 4, and the result will be 1, 4, 9, 16, and 25, because we need to square every number. And example 2, we can look at squares. X, each value of x squared for x in range 1 to 6, so which means we need to square values from 1 through 5. So we did 1, 4, 9, 16, and 25 as squared. And now let us use with condition. For example, even numbers will be n for n in numbers if n modulo 2 is equal to 0. So there will be no reminders. So if you print even numbers and pass on even numbers as placeholder, the output will be 2 and 4. And the dictionary comprehension follows. So let us look at square underscore dictionary, n colon n squared for n in numbers. And if we square the dictionary, we get the value of square dictionary as 1 colon 1, 2 colon 4, 3 colon 9, 4 colon 16, and 5 colon 25. I hope you're getting what's happening behind the hood. So please run the course. And section 14, we're going to look at basic regular expression. So this is just basic, but regular expression is very huge. So please dig further. We can import array, which is regular expression. Text is equal to email, for example, email me at harry@example.com. I can match. You can create our match object and this syntax. So if match, for example, we need to print found email match.group. So the output will be found email colon harry@example.com. And let us move to section 15, which is basic NumPy example. NumPy is a numerical Python library, and you can import NumPy as np. For array is got np.array 1, 2, 3, 4. And if we print the np array or NumPy array, we get the NumPy array to be 1, 2, and 3, 4. And you can print NumPy array mean as 2. The output will be 2.5, which is 10 divided by 4. We get 2.5. So we add 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we divide by 4. That's the mean. And number 16, we can look at basic matplotlib. Matplotlib example. So we need to do a simple plot. So I will not run the code, but I'll leave the work from your side. So import matplotlib.pyplot as plt. So let us have our x-axis as 1, 2, 3, and 4. Y-axis as 10, 20, 25, and 30. And plt.plot x, y. So plt.title will be a symbol line chart, and plt.x label will be x-axis, plt.y label will be y-axis, and plt.grid will be true. So we add the grid, and plt.show. So we need to show the output, and this one will open a line chart in a separate window. And if we print, and we can now end our Python Let me just run as a whole in my VS Code. So Python crash course .py, and if I hit enter, realize voila, everything has been printed, and now we are waiting for the graph to print. So this is the graph that we say will print on a different window, symbol line chart. So guys, I wish you all the best.